I'm Matt.
I'm Shane.
And if you like what you hear, make sure you hit that thumbs up button real hard and make sure you subscribe to Comic Movie Marks.
And also click that little bell for all of the notifications.
Whee!
Always remember,
If Trailer Trash can do it,
anyone can do it.
hello and welcome everyone to another Comic Movie Marks video.
James Gunn takes to social media and posted an image of his Suicide Squad with a caption stating, "Don't get too attached," and release the Ayercut?
That's right. We're going to talk about some Suicide Squad news, some DC news, I guess for the most part. James Gunn heading Suicide Squad 2. He obviously posted a cast list on Twitter, and as Shane said, with a caption saying, "Don't get too attached." So there's some names here that were rumored and that are there. Some names that were rumored that are not there. The returning cast would be Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang, Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, obviously Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, and if there's anybody else, I don't know and I don't care. Hopefully one of the first people to die is Taika Waititi on this list. Even though everybody was saying Korg was one of the funniest parts of Thor Ragnarok, I thought it was one of the worst parts of Thor Ragnarok, and it really fucking annoyed me. So I have a feeling he's probably going to be just lending his voice, or maybe he's reprising his role from Green Lantern.
Yeah, I hope he gets offed pretty early on, because obviously don't get too attached. Maybe James Gunn is approaching this kind of like The Walking Dead. I don't know. I was very intrigued though by kind of this cast list. Some of them were rumored before, and like Nathan Fillion, I don't think was ever confirmed until now, but he was rumored at one point. Color me intrigued. That's all I gotta say.
This shit's gonna have nuts in it.
Sean Gunn, obviously the brother James Gunn, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy as well. And then we have Michael Rooker. Of course, all this stuff being brought over from Guardians of the Galaxy. And funny because that's what Suicide Squad, the first one, was always kind of rumored to be, was kind of a villains Guardians of the Galaxy. So it's kind of funny now how it is becoming Guardians of the Galaxy for the most part. John Cena, as any wrestling fan would know, and maybe some other people outside of wrestling. I've seen rumors of King Shark. Don't know if he would really just lend his voice to a full CGI character, or if they actually would put prosthetics on him and makeup like they did with Killer Croc.
That's a possibility. I'm surprised you can even see him.
Move this man!
God, I hate you for that. I like really hate you for that.
I noticed that.
End call.
I noticed that on his on James Gunn's post. I was scrolling through and a bunch of people were like, "Why is there a random black space on the very top row in the second spot?" Like all this stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just. It's gotten awful.
So then you decided to use it as a joke in our video. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm glad you.
Yep, you're welcome.
You scoffed at it in the comments, but hey, I'm going to reuse that.
I'm going to steal it. Like Dane Cook. Bam. You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
I'm honestly, personally, for me, I'm not that enthusiastic for the Suicide Squad, because now apparently with sequels, you got to add the in front of it, because I think we had that with The Predators. That seems to be a way to get around without just putting a 2. Come on, let's go back to the fucking 80s, people. Put a 2, put a 3 after your goddamn thing. Use Roman numerals, something.
Ooh, like WrestleMania? That'd be sweet. The Roman numerals.
I was thinking Rocky.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go.
Fucking WrestleMania.
Oh, whatever. Hulk Hogan, Sylvester Stallone, tomato.
Russia! No one can believe the superhuman strength of Thunder Lips. I am the man.
I did like the Suicide Squad logo on here, though. Very classic. I don't know if they're going to stick to that. I've heard rumors that it was just kind of a placeholder, but if they did, I'd actually kind of like it. I think it has a very comic booky look to it. So
that means it's probably going to be gone.
Yep, most likely.
So at least one of the many rumors that has been swirling around Suicide Squad 2, James Gunn has, I guess, debunked it. Somebody was asking about Zatanna being in, at least in some form of a cameo in Suicide Squad 2 or something to that effect. And James Gunn answered, "I have nothing against Zatanna, but I have no idea where some of this stuff comes from. I never even thought of including her in the Suicide Squad, nor many of the other characters I keep hearing are in the film. I can't comment on every rumor, but just know many aren't true, And to kind of round out some of the other rumors, you have Idris Elba possibly playing Bronze Tiger. Michael Rooker is also a possibility for King Shark, even though we originally heard John Cena would play King Shark. So it's a kind of pick'em there when it comes to that rumor. Something that's actually confirmed and not a rumor was that James Gunn confirmed there was a table read with all the cast that he listed in his earlier tweet. One of the things that came also during this time that was very interesting. Obviously, James Gunn and David Ayer have been going kind of a back and forth a little bit, not in a negative way, even though some people have twisted some certain things because James Gunn likes tweets that may have been negatively talking about the first Suicide Squad. But the way people interpret likes just baffles me sometimes.
Confirmed.
But a guy named David Elric, he was talking shit about the first Suicide Squad and not understanding why people would be interested in the second one if they didn't like the first one.
So then David Ayer chimes in. He says, David, that's really mean-spirited. I understand the nature of your job and the necessity to grab eyes. David Ehrlich is a senior film critic at IndieWire. In Ayer's tweet, he says, but a lot of people dedicated their blood, sweat, and tears and came together to make the original. It's incredibly painful to have 2 years of my love attacked in such a way.
Then David Elric came in there to David Ayer's tweet and said, I was trying to express frustration with the endless franchise hype parade that continues unabated regardless of previous results, whatever they are, often at the expense of focusing on films that need the attention. Apologies that it came off as a more personal attack, which I thought was a really shitty apology. You were talking shit about the first one and you got called out on it and you backpedaled because you're a bitch. Oh, I was just generalizing. I didn't mean just you. And David Ayer, just being the class act that he is, thank you for this. The film industry is exactly that, an industry. It keeps growing and moving forward. Yet I know at James Gunn will make something amazing. My frustration comes from being hammered for something that was not my original vision.
And just look how happy he is.
And James Gunn, even down here, had the little, I'm not sure if this is a prayer emoji or a high five emoji. Has anybody ever figured this out?
I have no idea, but I think some people...
I know I use it for like the put hands together bow, like Japanese.
Yeah, I think that's what it's supposed to be because...
Cultural appropriation here.
On the iPhone, when you type in thank you, I think... It'll pop up as a suggested emoji because that's the iPhone has like these suggested emoji things for any of you Android users.
So we've always talked about this when it came to the Snyder Cut of artistic integrity, and David Ayer kind of has always been to the backdrop of all this, really only done by his own doing. He did come out when the movie was originally released saying this was his cut. He kind of put himself in a way where, a lot of people were like, well, if you're going to keep saying this is your cut, even though it was stated by sources at the time that there was two cuts being shown, which was originally David Ayer's cut and a cut done by a trailer company. Well, it kind of makes it hard to fight for you if you keep saying that this is my cut and this is what I wanted people to see. So I always felt like the Ayer cut got pushed back. And it's always been a curiosity of mine of how complete it really was. If it's being shown to test audiences, actual test audiences, not just being shown within WB, that tells me that it's very far along.
David Ayer clearly states in an interview with Collider, he says, we have a chunk that's definitely over 10 minutes of material on there, but this cut of the movie is my cut. There's no sort of parallel universe version of the movie. The release movie is my cut. And that's one of the toughest things about writing, shooting, and directing a film is you end up with these orphans and you fucking love them and you think they'd be amazing scenes and you do these amazing things, but the film is a dictatorship, not a democracy. And just because something's cool and charismatic doesn't mean it gets to survive in the final cut. The flow of the movie is the highest master. So Matt and we've brought this up several times and kind of made fun of David Ayer to a degree. He stated, this is my cut. And then after a while, he realized, well, actually, if I just tell the truth and say, no, this obviously isn't my cut, then, more people are starting to get more intrigued. And he also kind of followed Zack Snyder a little bit and started putting out additional things here and there to basically show, hey, look, there was something else out here. And that's kind of where the hashtag ReleasetheAyercut started.
And it's an unfortunate thing because the way he stated that and the way he put it, it kind of always made it a little bit difficult to say, hey, well, release the Ayercut. He says that is his cut. So it's always been a very difficult matter. But as Shane stated, and finally now, after all the time that WB has pretty much screwed him at this point, because he was supposed to do Suicide Squad 2. That got changed. And then he was supposed to do Gotham City Sirens. And if you believe rumors, apparently a lot of the Gotham City Sirens concept was transferred over to Birds of Prey and now being used by a completely different director and writer. So a lot of his material was stolen. Let's just say it was appropriated for the concept of Birds of Prey, if you believe the rumors. So I think at this point, he's kind of sitting on the outside now, thinking to himself, WB has kind of screwed me. It's time to start just telling the truth.
I thought they were a director studio, though.
That's what they say. I don't think so. I'm getting a kind of feeling that maybe not.
Yeah, just an inkling.
Yeah, it's tough sell right about now. And now he's just flat out saying this was not my original version. And if you go back to the original Hollywood Reporter article, I mean, it's full of things by unnamed sources. But at this time, as we found out, unfortunately, with Justice League, a lot of these unnamed sources turned out to be pretty spot on. He only had 6 weeks to write it. And then, of course, the reaction to BVS. It's even stated in here, Kevin Tsujihara was pissed about the reaction to BVS and that it hurt the brand. So one of those things that just obviously leads up to the problems we had with Justice League, problems we had with Suicide Squad, probably even some of the changes that were made to Wonder Woman, and obviously the whole fiasco with Warner Brothers and DC and where we're at now.
Yep, just another piece to the puzzle.
In case I don't see you.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.